real quick, this is my alt channel, and my main channel is in danger every day of getting banned as a result of talking with these amazing people very candidly. So please do me a favor and subscribe down below. Helps me out a lot. Get the hell on it, doggone it. So Pearl went on this damn tirade about Chrissie Mayr, and I don't know, like, don't start a fight with Chrissie Mayr. Chrissie Mayr is way too intelligent and clever for this shit. I'm sorry. She will clap back in such a smart, funny way and not even be mean. Anyways, so she starts a fight. It says right here, why do so many conservative women think it's their place to tell, or they think it's their place to tell their husband when he is and is not following God? Blows my mind. Conservative women are so out of order. So Frank says, my wife and I have conversations about helping each other live our best lives with and through God. I hope and pray that you will have that someday, finding a partner who has your back and wants to join you in heaven someday. So Pearl's like fucking straight for the jugular, by the way. She's like, your wife is an overweight 40-year-old woman who chose you after 15 years of doing God knows what. No one wants what you have. If you ever leave her good graces, her army of friends will treat you the same way they treat me. Which is a fucking unhinged response, by the way.
Yeah, no, she's triggered.
Like, holy shit. Like, she's so pissed. And to be honest, it's probably because he said, I hope and pray that you'll have something someday. And
yeah.
She's so self-conscious because she just gets pumped and dumped by like random dudes from her that she invites on her show, probably. Same thing that Brian does. Same thing that all these guys do. Like, let's be complete. Their entire show is about fucking bitches or vice versa. And you can't tell me the host isn't like literally bringing on 30 fucking OnlyFans girls not trying to have sex with a couple of them. I'm sorry. So she's desperately wanting to be with somebody, and she's not. And she's probably been struggling with that her whole life because, to be fair, she's a trust fund kid. Trust fund kids don't have to fit in. They don't have strife. They don't build personalities. They don't build interesting interest or hobbies because they never had to fit in. They were rich kids. So when they get to 30, they're alone and they're confused. They're like, why the fuck does no one like me? It's because you're not interesting anymore. You were never interesting. You had money when you were a kid, so you had the new PlayStation 2. You had every new game. You had a ping pong fucking court in your backyard. You had a swimming pool. That's why the kids liked you back then. That's why the high school like football team would pump and dump you every once in a while. That's why. When you get to 30, suddenly no one wants that because you never took time to build a personality, because you never needed to, because you already fit in through your childhood through money. I got the shit kicked out of me because I was obese and I lived in a trailer. That's why I'm so damn charming. Anna was hairy her whole life.
Well, no, I never thought that I was like ugly or anything like that, but girls would always make fun of my nose and they called me like rat face. And I was like, and take in mind, it was always fat girls like with like the piggy noses. And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, your nose is so pointy. And I was like, I told this one girl, I was like, at least I don't have a pig nose. And she got so mad.
Well, ugly fat women always call attractive women ugly and like make fun of them in school, even though you kind of do have a rat face. Get a little bit of rat face. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, so Pearl, angry as hell, responds like that, and Frank is like confused. Frank's such a nice guy in real life, by the way. He says, how'd you get so triggered when I literally said I'd pray for you to find a partner in life? Incredible, really. Maybe show a bit of humility for once and people won't keep making fun of you. And of course, my favorite, so this is my favorite statement people make when they're angry. Not angry at all, actually. Oh, but it just so happens you called me angry. Guess what? I actually was not angry this whole time. I just said this crazy unhinged shit because I'm totally calm right now. Not angry. You said, live how my wife and I live. No one wants what you have. What? What do you mean?
Her entire thing is about getting married and having babies.
Yeah. I don't understand. What is she trying to say?
It's funny. I commented on this and I told Frank, because like she made fun of like Chrissy's age, and I was like, my parents had me and my sisters, like my mom had me when she was still in her 30s. Was she in her 30s? I don't remember. But like they were in their 40s when they had like me and my sisters, and they're still alive and fine, and we're all fine. Well, you know, one died, and then somebody brought that up. They're like, your parents are failures because your sister died. I'm like, that had nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
You know?
Wild. Yeah, I don't know. And she's trying, I guess she's trying to pretend that she hasn't been ran through. I'm like, come on. Girl, look, Meep.
No one is that bitter.
I know the type of girl she is. I've been around the block. That's the kind of girl that you can look at and be like, you know what? I actually find you really interesting. Like, you're actually weird and different. Like, you're different. I've never encountered a girl like you before. And they're like, what? Their draws fall off immediately right there. And then you fucking dump one, and then you don't talk to them anymore. Like, it's like they're the easiest ones. I guarantee you her body count's like 280 at least minimum. Because but she thinks she's in love. So there's her justifying like morality. So, oh, I was in love. It wasn't bad. I was actually in love when I got pumped up to 8,000 pounds. Hey, bro, you easy. They're the easiest ones, right? You can tell. And to be fair, it's the ugly ones. All right, here we go. Let's go back. Let's get back into it. You asked why conservative women want their husbands to live through God. I commented with an example. What the fuck's wrong with you? Keep in mind, Frank is ratioing her 100% all the time on her own fucking post, which is the beautiful thing. She said, yeah, and I don't like liars. Conservative women get married at 22, not 40. Play pretend at home, but stay out of my comment section with that. What? So what is, okay, so this is me being really confused. What does she want Chrissy to do? Like, okay, let's hypothetically.
Nothing will ever be good enough for her, so.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, okay, let's say Chrissie Mayr is 39, 38. And she's sitting there and she's like, you know, okay, I have an opportunity to get married and like, you know, have children and have a family. What's Pearl gonna say? Like, if she didn't know these people, what would she say? Like, no, you're not allowed to get married now. You're 38. I'm confused. Her whole thing is,
no, nothing she says makes sense. She's just, misery loves company. She's just screaming out of her ass. Did you watch the video she posted?
Oh no, but we need to watch that.
Here, want me to send it to you?
Yeah, send it to me. Anyway, she said she's lying. I mean, Pearl's gonna be that lady at 40 getting married. But anyways, who's lying and about what? Frank says you're really coping hard and deflecting, and it's really bizarre. You asked the question, now you're crying because I gave you an honest example, and then she didn't respond. So that was the end of that. And I'm pretty sure the thread was a little bit longer, but it was really strange. It was very strange. That whole exchange was just her angry.
Then today she posted a 4-minute video of like a preview for her live stream today where all she was going to do was talk shit about Chrissy on her live stream.
So what I am tired of is conservatives putting their personal relationships as what we should aspire to. So many times Christian content creators have been married 5 minutes. They haven't even made it to the 7-year itch. And yet they want to lecture us on how to be married. They want us to aspire to their relationships. So it was really interesting because I tweeted, why do so many conservative women think it's their place to tell their husband when he is and is not following God? So what I often see is women want to weaponize the Bible to control their husband. So there's a verse in the Bible that says, women should only submit to their husband when he follows God. There's also another verse that says, obey him in all things, but women tend to forget that one. So what this tends to lead to is the women thinking it's their place to lecture their husbands on when they're following God. To put this in perspective, women have no.
This has nothing to do with Chrissy.
Yeah, I think she read like the situation wrong. I think she thinks like Frank or Chrissy's like a Christian creator, and they're just a normal creator.
Well, you know what happened? She went on that Tim Pool debate, and she completely got destroyed by Lauren Chen.
Mm-hmm.
And so now she's like coping, and then I think she started this fight to take the heat off of that embarrassment.
Yeah.
And it's just not working. So she's venting about that debate on top of like trying to blame it all on Chrissy.
Yeah, I'd probably do the same thing.
Play it at like ×2 speed, man. This is hell.
Where's ×2 at? Playback speed. ×2? Let's do 1.5. ×2, I might fucking have a panic attack.
I listen to every video at ×2 speed.
Well, you're like small. Everything's ×2 to you.
Yeah.
Even if your boss gives you an order that maybe is you disagree with, you might think it's the wrong direction, you still got to do it. But women don't even have that basic respect for their husbands. It's so crazy. So this simp responds to me. And again, he's putting...
She called Frank a simp just now? No way she called Frank a simp. What the fuck?
Yeah, the dude that's been dating, that was with a woman for 10 years and then married her is a total simp.
Look at this fucking face.
I know.
His relationship at the forefront. My wife and I have conversations about helping each other live our best lives with and through God. I hope and pray that you will one day find a partner who has your back and wants to join you in heaven someday. So we all know what this means. We all know, one, when conservatives tell you that they're going to pray for you, it's just a passive aggressive way of saying to go fuck yourself. And so if you're coming to my comment section, I have to live in reality.
What? Oh, so what does she mean? Do you think by that? What does she mean? That's
Oh, she just triggered because Frank told her, like, we're going to pray for you that you find happiness. And she doesn't like that.
Interesting.
Because she wants people to look at her like she's got it all.
Yeah, that makes sense. I will say, I don't like, okay, so I'm secular, right? Like I'm not religious at all. And when I tell people that, and I tell people that in not a mean way, by the way. I don't like use that as a weapon at all. I don't think I'm better or worse than anybody else. I'm just like, yeah, I'm not religious. And I'll sometimes, every so often, I'll have somebody be like, oh, well, I'll pray for you to find the way. And I'm like, look, I get what you're saying, but just because you're religious and you think that you're going somewhere after all this doesn't make you responsible for praying that I will believe the same thing you do because you're so enlightened and I'm so shitty. And, so I do understand that point, but I also don't think it's a passive aggressive way to tell you.
I think when somebody's being passive aggressive.
Yeah.
When like somebody's like that's what they believe and they're just like, oh, like they're just meant it as like a nice thing. To me, it's kind of the equivalent of saying like, oh, I hope you have a good day. Like it's their way of saying like, I hope you have a good day. Like I hope you have like a nice marriage, life, career. It's just like a nice intimate. There are people that do it condescending, and you know immediately who those people are. Frank, I don't think was being condescending.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, and especially if you know Frank in real life. Frank's legit like a fucking he's a sweetheart, man.
He's the nicest person.
Yeah, so he's not gonna do that. He's not gonna passive aggressive like, fuck you, bitch. He's not like that. I don't even think he'd be mean to somebody he didn't like in real life. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he has it in him.
And if you're gonna put your relationship as the thing we should aspire to, I'm gonna comment.
Yeah, see, immediately. One sentence. She's fucking dripping in envy.
Yeah.
How dare you make your relationship, which I wish I had, what we should aspire to, wish I could, but
well, you know what? If she ever does get a relationship and if she ever does have a kid, I feel like she's gonna be like the Hillary Clinton, like, oh, my daughter Chelsea, and it's like the most putrid looking troll human that you've ever seen, and like it's just like the most loveless marriage where it's like you're literally just using that person so you can pretend to have this happy life.
Yeah. Oh, brutal.
On if I think we should aspire to it. So I point out, this man is having a child by a woman who's 40 years old.
And she hasn't elaborated on what's wrong with that, by the way. Like, I don't understand. Like, look, the whole point of her entire belief structure for her show and how she got her following is women that are 40 can't get married because you wasted your time. She is.
Yeah, and 40. It's like, well, this is a woman that is 40 and she is married with a baby.
Yeah, she did the thing. She's an outlier. And you're like saying she still sucks. I'm like, no, but she did it. She did.
A lot of women get married later in life and have kids later. People just like, I don't like somebody with Pearl who has zero life experience goes out and makes like these declarations, but I'm like, that's not how people like really live. So I live in Southern California. It's a very like wealthy area. Everyone is like, I mean, we have like the surfers, like the beach bums and stuff, but it's like in Orange County, they're all like, every woman looks like a plastic Barbie doll, and all of the guys are like rich engineers, lawyers, doctors, and they all play golf, and all of their wives are 20 years younger than them. And those women are like in their 40s and have no problem finding men because everybody has an expectation for the lifestyle they want. So they all have that thing in common where they wanted to be rich and they wanted to make a certain amount of money before they settled down and had kids. So here it's like super common. Anytime Peaches and I go out, like we're the youngest ones.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that's what I'm surrounded by. So when I hear people like this, I'm like, your entire thing is just a bubble on the internet.
Yep. 100%. I agree.
These tend to be buzzer beater pregnancies.
Buzzer beater babies.
Women pick the men that they want. when we're in our youth, at least our 20s. And if a woman in her 30s finds the man that she wants, she is dying to have his kid. She wants to have his kid, not any kid. And what I keep finding is these men that have no idea their wives, really, you're not her first choice. She wouldn't have picked you at 22. And I can tell in how, if the woman respects the husband, I can tell in the way she talks about him, the way she treats him.
But how would she know though? I gotta be transparent here. Like, she claims to have all this knowledge about, like, she can tell when a woman doesn't want a man or does want a man. And I'm like, but what is this from experience? What is it? What is this from? You just know the things? Because apparently you don't know the things, or else you'd probably be married by now. If she, you know what I'm saying? It's weird.
Yeah.
It's super
And I mean,
obvious.
that just proves she doesn't know anything about Chrissy. She didn't meet Frank until later. Like, she didn't meet Frank until what? Because her and Frank were together for 10 years. So at 39 or 29, 30 is when Chrissy met Frank.
Yeah.
And Chrissy's like been madly in love with Frank for over a decade.
Yeah.
Since they pretty much met, and they've been together ever since. So everything Pearl said, it's like, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, she's doing that thing where she's really confidently speaking about something she has no idea about, and I hate when people do that shit. I hate it so much, and I especially hate it when it's a subject matter that I know an ungodly amount of info about, and they don't actually know that I do.
Yeah,
they're talking out of their ass, and I'm just like, ooh, shit, they're saying a lot of wrong shit. Ooh, damn, that was wrong. About racing. Some people will like try to talk about racing, and they have quite literally no knowledge on it, and I'm just like, they'll try to talk about like camber and something, and I'm just like, ooh, fuck, all the stuff they're saying is so wrong.
One involved except the two. And it's pretty embarrassing because you get conservative commentators saying, well, my wife turned me down for a date. That's one. Or I have to ask my wife before making major decisions. And you just see all these whipped ass husbands.
I'll agree with her on that point. I detest that fucking dynamic where where a husband has to ask his wife if he could buy something with his own money. I'm like, bro, I'll fucking slap a bitch.
You know what? I think, like, I feel like this gets dragged out of proportion. Like, yeah, there's some, like, the wife's like, what do you mean you went to the grocery store? But it's like, if it's like thousands upon thousands of dollars, and it's like you have a joint account and you have kids, like that's some, like, I don't expect Peaches to tell me when he spends money on anything. But if he's like, hey, I'm thinking about buying a new car, and it's like, oh, okay, like what kind of car? Like, well, how, how expensive? Like for his 35th birthday, he bought himself, as a present, he bought himself like a Nova. And like, I was just like, well, like, why? And he's like, oh, I've just always wanted one. And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like, how much are you going to spend on it? Like, how much you want to spend on it, and how much work is going to go to. He didn't ask me for permission, but it is a conversation that you have.
I agree. So I think it goes without saying, if you're in danger of bankrupting the family, you probably should talk about it. Like, don't take out a second mortgage without talking to somebody, and don't bet your entire savings on like a football game without telling your significant other, or like, asking, or anything like that. Don't make a big purchase that's going to drain your bank account so you literally can't pay your mortgage. Stuff like that. But if you have 10 grand in your savings and you want to buy some wheels for your truck and they're like $1,500, like, no, I'm not going to ask. I'm not beholden to this other person about spending, and especially when it's my own.
And there are like those psycho women that are like, they're so insecure that they have to check every aspect of a guy's finances. And then there are those women that are justified because their partner is irresponsible with money. Usually it's the women that are irresponsible with money, but there are those very few times where it is the man. But she's taking this very like specific thing and applying it to everyone.
Yeah, it's because she's you know what, to be fair, like, we're harping on her, but she's probably going through some shit, and she's like in a fucking
I don't care. She's
like,
she has no sympathy from everything that she does. I'm like, you don't have any sympathy for me.
Well, I'm not saying I feel sympathy. I'm just saying that's probably what can explain her being.
Well, yeah, and it shows. It's very apparent.
Yeah, because you don't get that mad over something that irrelevant. By the way, like the show, boys. We're almost to 400. Give it a like. Give it a kiss. Thank you so much. Like the show in honor of Anna and her rat face. Thank you.
That will die on the hill of their wife ruling over them. And I want to go back to I have to keep going back to the boss example, because when you look at a boss, you would never question his decisions. You would never go every day to work and criticize your boss. No, you would be let go. But women give more respect to their boss than they do their husbands. So tonight we're going to talk about buzzer beater babies and how you can tell the difference between a chick that had a kid with a guy that she loves and really wants to be with, and a buzzer beater baby child who just wants a sperm donor. Don't put your personal relationships as a model if you don't.
Is she claiming that Chrissy settled for Frank and just because she wanted
Yes.
to see? That's stupid.
I know.
Is she not like you can probably Google Chrissie Mayr and find out that she's been with Frank for a long time.
I know.
It's very silly.